let's fix our community. And that goes in, it's another hashtag. It's, save your community, Black man. We hashtag that. And it's for those that want to fix what we have here. And I am not particularly a woman that is just going to throw away my culture, my identity, my race, my community. I'm willing to fix it. And again, with those hashtags, that's pretty much what it's about. I don't believe that this world is made for us to be alone. I'm proud to be a Black woman. And if I'm proud to be a Black woman, but I see things in the community that obviously needs to be fixed, then I want to do it. So it's important to me. It's not just bring their ass back. It's we need you for community building. We need you to further on what our ancestors came over, died for, sacrificed for, what my grandparents did. So it's bigger than me. And if we're going to continue on who we are, what I look like, this melanin, my genes, it takes us both. And I'm here saying that, and hopefully building a community or around people that also believe that they want to better the community and be an asset and not a hindrance to it.
Okay, so how would Black women collectively step down in a way to show Black men collectively, like, hey, we're making a change? If this is essentially what you're believing in or what you wanted to do.
How do they do it?
Yes.
I think that we need to go into these when a Black woman is with a Black man, I think that we need to start giving them the benefit of the doubt. I think a lot of times we go into relationships on a defense and we're already prepared for the worst. And I think even when Black men walk in the room, and it's always, the woman hold their purses because they're always, Black men has never had the benefit of the doubt of being a great man. It's no, he's a predator. No, he's a thug. He's a pookie. He's that. So that's one thing Black women have to do is start giving men the benefit of the doubt. I think Black women need to get out of their own way of fear. I think a lot of women act certain ways because they're hurt for whatever reason, whether it's self-inflicted or not, they're coming out of pain. But you just have to allow things. And I've even said this to myself where, in relationships, it's me giving the benefit of the doubt and not being scared whether it's going to work or not. I said this to Alan, one of my favorite quotes that I say to myself through anything that I do is, what did it say? It was, oh, but what if I fail? And oh, but no, darling, what if I fly? Mm-hmm. So I go into things and relationships not being scared if it fails, but being hopeful and optimistic that it will fly. And if we start looking at our Black men like that, as hopeful and energetic and enthusiastic in relationships, I think it could change so much.
Okay, so you think just being more optimistic, Black women being more optimistic towards Black men is what they can do?
I think yes, I think that. And I also think listening.
Your thoughts on S.T.A.B? Do you think this is possible even remotely?
S.T.A.B?
This
I've never heard of it.
So this was, this is essentially what this conversation is about. The lovely I'm Courtney Michelle. I think her and we need to talk, correct if I'm wrong here. But, in their different collaborations, they came up with this idea of S.T.A.B, right? Or, save your community, Black men. And that's essentially Black women creating a movement that shows Black men in America that they don't need to go abroad. They shouldn't have to go to abroad to find good, lovely, marriageable women. So this is the conversation. She was explaining to me just her ideas, her thoughts, how they came about this, what that would look like. So, I mean, do you think that this is even possible? Do you think that there's any possibility that there could be a turnaround for a collective, for a small minority? What are your thoughts?
I was just about to say, I don't think there's enough women that could get on board for that to be too effective. I don't know how well. That's why I say that there's no hope.
So you say there's no hope for the community at least out here. You're not the first one. I had quite.
I think Black people has shown decade after decade, over centuries, how resilient we are. I think Black people have been in situations where we did not feel hopeful, and we've came out. I think we are people that overcome a lot. And if we've able to come over civil rights movements and Jim Crow and slavery, and even our ancestors that was even strong enough to make the trip from Africa over to the Caribbean, over to here, we're strong enough to do that. There's no doubt in my mind that we're not strong enough or capable of fixing our families.
I think the results are showing otherwise, though.
Well, I don't necessarily say that. I think in the 60s we were married at an 80% rate. So it's been on a decline since the 70s and the 80s. But that decline doesn't mean that it can't be turned around. Every statistic can be changed, but it has to take those willing to put in the work, have a strong enough voice to say things that needs to be changed, gather people that want the change, show it. And we show the change by women getting more healthy, physically, mentally. It's women understanding their rightful role, being God-centered. It's women wanting their husbands to lead and showing what leadership is. It's showing our children what that looks like. So if it went from 80 to 30, then that was a dramatic change, but that does not mean that it's a never where that change can't go on a rise again. So I would never say never at all, especially being Black and what I've overcome, my grandparents overcome. We've overcome a lot, and they never said never, gave up. And so I'd be silly enough to just give up on something that generationally my family has fought for.
Well, I mean, it's possible, yes, but what's the likelihood of that happening?
What was the likelihood of us getting out of slavery? What was the likelihood of a lot of things? We didn't know unless we tried. We didn't know. We didn't. If there wasn't a Martin Luther King, if it wasn't a Malcolm X, if it wasn't for those people that tried, that saw it, wanted change.
Both of those people got murdered. So clearly, that's limiting.
Yeah, and I'd rather, live on my feet than die on my knees. So sometimes change. People are worried. Some folks want to die for things. I mean, that's what they chose to do. But what they did, their footprint and the longevity and what they created was worth it. And we all gonna die. And I'm not scared of death. Thank God I believe I have a savior in heaven. But I mean, my family, my community is worth fighting for. And God so loved. I mean, I can go biblically with that, but I ain't scared of dying. And right now, creating or saving our family, I don't think it's necessarily a death physically. I think it's a death of ourselves. I think it's a death of being selfish. I think it's a death of women not understanding their rightful role. The death that we need is not a physical death. It's the death of our ideology and what we were told to do, what we were ingrained to be. That's what we need to die to. Paul talks about dying to self daily. That's the death that we need.
I mean, like I said, it is possible, but I don't think there'll be enough men with my message going around. And I'm not the only one in that community. And my community actually has results. So will there be enough men that you would want left over here?
Well, majority of men are here.
Of course.
Majority of men are not going overseas. So the men that are not going overseas, they deserve to be with an amazing woman. And I want them to be with an amazing Black woman. So again, my work is here.
But the majority of women don't want the majority of men. They want a minority of men. It's a minority of men going overseas, not a majority.
Okay. So I think with women in general, women, we always say hypergamous, and women are always wanting a particular type of man. The work again is understanding what man that you need to get and need, and focus on your need instead of something fleeting like your feelings of what you want.
Fleeting?
So, feelings are fleeting.
Oh.
So the focus on is, and again, women, like married women that we have, that's putting in the work as well, is understanding and ingraining in something different. It's us thinking. I always go to the movie Higher Learning. Shout out John Singleton, where it says unlearn at the end. We have to unlearn a lot of things that we were taught. And that's one of the things that we have to learn is understanding what you need in a man instead of what you want. Because those wants change, but that need is going to be what's going to be consistent and what's sustainable and its substance.
I would agree. I mean, it sounds good, but a lot of women aren't implementing those things.
Well, it might not be a lot, but for those that are, they need to speak up. And for those that are, we have to have an alternative. We have to have women that are an alternative to the Meg Thee Stallions, to the Cardi B's. We have to have an alternative. And for these younger women, then they can see a difference instead of thinking this is how women are. They have to see women that are not like that are showing improved, that are beautiful and elegant and classy. I go back to the Dorothy Dandridges and how beautiful and elegant as far as what she looked like. And that's what inspires me. And I think we need to start showing more women like that. I think even Bootsy made a tweet that said, "I get attracted when women put on their clothes." Like it's phenomenal that he has to tweet that, but it's true. If you want to stand out, then put some clothes on. If you want to stand out, take them silly eyelashes off and stand up straight and be poised. That's how you stand out now. It's the elegance and it's the class, and that's what we need to show as Black women.
Well, I think we need to just get the younger Black women to understand that, or younger women. I don't ever say the race, but younger women, because younger men are listening to me and they're understanding that if they deal with bullshit here, they can try somewhere else. And I just don't see a woman my age in this space teaching women what you're trying to teach them.
Well, I also think that when you have a platform, you're going to attract likeness. So whereas your platform, you're going to see the abundance of men that think like you is because they think like you. On my platform, I'm going to see more like-minded people that want to see Black love, that want us to be together, that want amazing Black women, that Black women that want amazing Black men, because they're like-minded. So our platform is going to attract likeness because that's what I put on my page. If you don't believe in it, then I don't know why you would want to watch it. If you don't want to see Black women and Black men kissing on each other, then you ain't gonna like my IG, or you're not gonna like, you're just not gonna like it. So you're gonna attract what you're gonna attract. And I'm cool with my little tribe for us to put in the work and show and prove. I always like being the underdog.
I support it.
Thank you.